Assalamu alaikum, friends. A truly disgraceful and shocking incident occurred during Taraweeh prayers in Saudi Arabia, leaving everyone who witnessed it in a state of utter disbelief. In a posh area of Riyadh, something happened in a mosque that caused a great deal of anger and frustration among all those present. While Taraweeh prayers were underway, a sudden uproar erupted inside the mosque. The CCTV cameras installed in the mosque captured these distressing scenes. Had there been no video footage, it is highly unlikely anyone would have believed it. In front of hundreds of people, a girl shamelessly crossed all limits of decency. This incident, which occurred on the first day of Ramadan, is a shameful one for the entire Muslim Ummah and raises serious questions for the Saudi authorities. Without a doubt, this event marks a clear sign of the day of judgment that has come to pass. Before I get into the details of this disgraceful event, I would like to remind those of you who are visiting this channel for the first time to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can stay updated on all the latest news and updates. When the crescent moon of Ramadan was sighted in Saudi Arabia, a wave of joy swept across the country. Fireworks erupted in various locations, and the mosques filled up with worshippers. Muslims across the world greeted one another, wishing each other a blessed Ramadan. In one particular small area of Riyadh, a mosque made an announcement declaring the sighting of the moon and announcing that tomorrow would be the first day of Ramadan. After a few prayerful words, everything seemed perfectly fine until the next day when something occurred in this area of Riyadh that will leave you shocked. You will surely be horrified because events like this serve as a warning that Allah's wrath may soon befall the Muslim Ummah. Now let me tell you this incident through the words of an eyewitness, Abdul Hafiz, a 30-year-old man who was also selected as a Quran teacher at the mosque. Abdul Hafiz shared, "I had just finished teaching the children Quran, as usual, and reminded them about attending iftar and Taraweeh prayers afterward. I called each child by name and emphasized the importance of attending the prayers. They all held me in high regard and respected me greatly. As the time for iftar approached, the children brought iftar for me from their homes. The mosque also had its own iftar arrangements. But these children, who had a special bond with me, came to the mosque right after breaking their fast, increasing the activity in the mosque. The whole village was busy with Taraweeh prayers when something utterly unbelievable happened. We were completely focused on our prayers when, out of nowhere, we started hearing loud Arabic music. I was stunned. Who would dare act so recklessly during the blessed month of Ramadan? Surely only someone devoid of faith could indulge in such acts. Not only was this person sinning, but they were also corrupting the faith of others. While committing sin themselves, they seemed unaware that they were disrupting others' devotion as well. The music continued for a while, but then it abruptly stopped. Just when I thought things might settle, a woman's voice rang out in the mosque. It seemed as if a woman had entered the mosque. In the mosque, there was a designated area for women to pray, and they were taught by the imam. But this was different. There was a sudden, overwhelming fragrance and the unmistakable sound of bangles. These sounds distracted us all from our concentration. My initial reaction was one of anger. I thought to myself, who is this girl distracting us in the mosque? What right does she have to behave like this? I was furious and I wanted to punish her for disrupting the prayers in such a shameless way. She walked toward the imam's area, and then something even more astonishing occurred. She stood right in front of everyone and began to laugh loudly, mocking us all. Her laughter filled the room as she began to say, "Who are you bowing down to? I don't see your God in front of me. Who exactly are you worshiping? What is the point of your prayers when I don't see your God here?" She mocked everyone in the congregation, and no one could respond because we were all engrossed in our worship. Who was this girl, and why did she dare behave this way in a mosque? How did she gain access to this sacred place? As I was still trying to process everything, she did something even more unbelievable. She started to engage with the worshipers in an inappropriate manner. She pulled someone's hair, slapped someone else, and deliberately dropped a fork on the floor, causing more distraction. She was purposefully trying to disturb the prayers. If she were just a confused child, we might have considered it a misunderstanding, but no Muslim child would ever behave with such disrespect. We are taught from childhood to honor Islam and to hold our faith in the highest regard. It was becoming evident that this girl was not a Muslim. She was clearly not a part of the Muslim community, and this was something we could not overlook. We know that Saudi Arabia does not allow non-Muslims into mosques, so the question remained, was she mentally unstable, or was there something else behind her actions? As the worshippers went into prostration, the forks she had dropped began to injure their feet and arms. This continued for a while, but the situation escalated further when she started engaging in even more inappropriate behavior. She took off her headscarf and threw it aside, saying, "I don't believe in this veil. Islam may require it, but I reject it." She then proceeded to undo her hair, openly rejecting the religious modesty that Islam prescribes. Her attitude and behavior were beyond anything we had ever witnessed. At this point, one of the worshippers, who could no longer tolerate her disrespect, stopped his prayer. He walked over to her and said in an angry voice, "What is wrong with you? You should be ashamed of yourself. You have no right to act like this." He was shocked by her disrespectful behavior and said, "If you were a man, I would have dealt with you differently, but you're a woman, so we are still showing you respect." The girl began to speak more disrespectfully, and in a fit of rage, the young man slapped her hard and dragged her outside the mosque. As soon as she was outside, she started shouting and screaming, claiming, "Help! They are forcing me into the mosque. They want to commit sin with me. This is the true face of Muslims." She began to gather a crowd of people, making wild accusations and spreading lies. Others soon began to arrive and record everything on their cameras, spreading lies and propaganda. The girl was joined by 3 young men who were filming everything and claiming that this was how Muslims behave with innocent girls during Ramadan. A man stepped forward and slapped her, saying, "Stop spreading these lies. Are you out of your mind?" Within a few hours, this video went viral, and the story was twisted and spread in European countries, painting Muslims in a negative light. But after an investigation, it became clear that the girl was not a Muslim. She was part of a group that regularly engages in anti-Islamic propaganda and had done similar things in other Islamic countries. People were furious with her for trying to defame Islam, but what happened next shocked everyone. Allah's divine retribution descended upon her. She was struck by a truck, and her body was shattered into pieces. No one could believe that it was the same girl. A few hours later, the full extent of her actions had come to light, and the truth was revealed to the world. The imam of the mosque later explained everything, showing the CCTV footage, which silenced all critics, including those who had previously accused Muslims of wrongdoing. Even those who had criticized Muslims were forced to acknowledge that divine justice had been served. After the incident, many people began to reflect on how such actions could occur in a mosque, especially during the blessed month of Ramadan. The truth came out that the girl, along with her companions, had been working for an anti-Islam agenda, attempting to create chaos and division among Muslims. Some people had even considered her actions a sign that the Ummah was heading down a dangerous path, where even sacred spaces like mosques were no longer safe from such disrespectful behavior. May Allah guide the Muslim Ummah and protect us from the deceit of those who spread false propaganda. May He grant us the strength to hold fast to our faith and protect us from those who seek to harm Islam. Ameen.